Hello. Welcome, anyone who's watching. I'm Talion Trevere, and this is my first ever stream. So nice to meet you. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background there. I think she's decided that I'm talking to her. So anyway, yes, cat has arrived. Um, I'm starting a series called Speedpaint Sundays. Hopefully I can actually stick to Sundays, but we'll see. So the idea is that basically I have an hour to try to draw a landscape. I think, like many kind of anime style artists, I struggle with backgrounds. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to just get in some practice, um, and hopefully improve my background drawing skills. And I figured, what better way than with some of these gorgeous environments from Genshin Impact. I have prepared a reference image for today. As you can see, this is from like promotional materials. I think this is from one of the Sumeru trailers. So yeah, it's very pretty. And I'll see how much I can get through this in an hour. I guess let's get started. When I was testing uh, these speed paints, I was kind of drawing everything on one layer, but I figure we should actually maybe try to, sorry, cat is trying to rub against me, which is very cute and also very distracting. She's licking me now. Yes, this is great, but I actually have things to do, cat, sorry. Uh, yeah, I do have the reference image separately on my phone, so I can still look at it while I'm doing things here. So I'll start with just kind of a sketch of this, so it has a very distinctive kind of cutout shape in the middle. Like a great big mushroom here. And some kind of tree roots up here. Um, and here's some kind of bush. So this, not sure if that's a rock or a tree root, but this should roughly line up with this tree root here. So that's not quite right. And of course, in the back here, we have the big tree trunk. All right, I think that's probably good enough for a rough sketch. So I'm going to start going in with colors. I could try to like color pick things off the reference, but I think that would be boring. So I'm going to try to just get the colors myself. I'm on the wrong brush. Oh, that's kind of close enough to start with. It's maybe not quite right, but we can adjust things later. And then this goes kind of into a gradient, into a more yellow color. Just kind of blend these in a little bit. It's not really a great way to do blending, but again, this is kind of a rough painting. So these side kind of mossy rocks are this grayish green that I'm going to try to match. Something like that. I think that's maybe too light and maybe too saturated. But I think I can go in with darker colors later. Get some of these darker bits in the So this bit here has the sort of fade out. I guess it's kind of atmospheric perspective where like this, uh-oh, did my brush fail? No. Okay, here we go. Where like this part is kind of darker and then it fades out to more of the green as you go back to this foliage and stuff. And the same on this side too, like this foliage in the back is lighter than the stuff in front of it. So I'll have to keep that in mind for that. I feel like these parts here are coming out too green. It needs to be a little bit browner. over here on this side we have, I can't actually tell if this is part of a tree or still just rock, but whatever it is, it's a little bit yellower. Let's try putting some of that in back here too. And over here, some of these parts are yellower just because of like the glow from these mushrooms. I should probably actually go ahead and put the mushrooms in, because that'll give me some reference for where to kind of put the light from them. All right, let's go mushrooms. The mushrooms on this side I'll leave for later. Let's see. I have a yellow right here already, though this might be a little bit too bright. That'll be more orangey. Try for the really, really bright glow part here. Maybe put a little bit of that in there too. I think I'll need to put these strands on a separate layer so they don't blend in too much with the mushroom. Let me get rid of the sketch. like bright enough. I think I just don't have these mushrooms right, right orientation to each other. Because you see this one is like kind of, they're overlapping more. I think I may need to move one of these mushrooms. Everything okay on the stream? Looks like YouTube's saying there might be issues. Right, so something more like that. I do want to go in with something a little bit more intense. These mushrooms for the lighting here. Okay, yeah, the alert went away too, so hopefully things are all right. I guess since I'm doing the mushrooms, I might as well put their legs in too. Let's get back some of these green, browny sort of colors. And then we need to blend these kind of in more with the yellowy colors. I'm just going to take, I forget which color is which here, but one of these is the glowy mushroom yellow. This one's actually a little more orangey. And then the bottom of the mushroom legs is darker and greener. Something like that. These are not blending in very well. Sorry about that. I feel like my mushrooms are still not quite capturing the brightness of this kind of yellow glow, but we can work on that. Yeah, I think what I need to do is make this kind of part of the mushroom a little bit darker, just so it contrasts more with the brighter parts. Something like that, maybe. That's a little much. Wait, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why it's not blending. There we go. That's getting somewhat closer to what these mushrooms look like. Okay, I think that's enough time on the mushrooms for now, though. Let's try to put in some of this other stuff. I'm especially excited about this uh, tree stump in the back there. Let's maybe get a start on that. So it's very kind of subtle. The color is pretty similar to a lot of the stuff around it. Sketch back. Actually, before we do that, let's put in some of this other. I think that's rock formations leading up to the stump. Something like that. And then behind that is this stump. So kind of like the background behind it, the stump starts out more green at the bottom and then goes into more of the yellows as it goes up. Oh, yeah, I see my head's getting cut off. Oops. I need to try not to move around so much. Otherwise, my avatar does really weird things when I move. My tracking is not great. I think it's especially when I like lean in close to the camera that it sometimes does weird things. But sometimes when you're working on art, you gotta look at it real close. There's actually kind of a bluish, tealish kind of green down here at the bottom. Not blue enough, right? That's more like it, I think. Actually, it's really similar to this area next to it. I'm going to need to make this bit darker so it contrasts with that. That looks pretty good, but now this bit needs to be darker. Yeah, something like that. And now I'm finding that this background is definitely missing these like this yellow kind of glow here. I should try to get that in there. Too yellow. Still too yellow. That's somewhat closer, I think. More like it. I feel like it's a little too yellow now. Let's to get more in the green. Something like that. Yeah, something like that, but more blended. Actually, let me just take the lighter brush, blend that out a little bit. That's not looking too bad. I definitely think this area here should be more of a bluish, tealish kind of color. And then up here at the top of the stump, there's some kind of yellow highlights from the light coming down, and probably from the mushrooms. I know there's more mushrooms to put in here, but I think we can leave those for later. Sort of like that, kind of. Yeah, it's rough, but it'll do. Let's fill in this side here that's still totally empty. And also put in these dark parts too. Kind of bothers me that those are missing. This is also kind of more on the teal bluish side. Not dark enough. Yeah, that's better. Mm. Putting in some of these leaves here, I would kind of prefer to put that on a separate layer. Let's put this bush on this layer too, but not in that color. This bush up front is more green compared to the kind of more teal stuff we've been seeing around. Thank you. I think this one's coming out better than the previous one. Let me get the sketch out to see what it's kind of looking. Way too bright. Yeah, that's about right. Put those front mushrooms in later. Still not dark enough though. Like that. That's kind of what that bush looks like. It could go a little darker still, but I'm too lazy. Let's just leave it as is for now. Let's get these mushrooms in. I actually feel like working like this is maybe better than looking at my phone, because my phone screen colors are totally different than the ones on my computer. So maybe I should just stick to looking at the computer colors. Ah, those mushrooms turned out kind of brown. I think they need to be a little bit brighter. Or like that. I think that's a little better. All right, I think the next thing I want to do is try to fill in this area. So that's really missing a lot of detail right now. Save. Don't forget to save. All right, where to even start? So there's these kind of tree roots over here, this tree root in the front, more tree roots back here. And then here it's just kind of like terrain and paths. I might leave out all these tiny mushrooms just for time. I do want to save some time for these extra mushrooms though. So 20 minutes left. I'll maybe try to do this area as fast as I can. Push. There's this bit here. I'm just going to put in these tree roots here. They do have some brown to them as well. Yeah, something like that. And then these actually, the shadows on these are super dark. So I think I want to put those in as well. I guess that should do it. So now that I'm looking at it, I want to put in some darker colors in the bush. So I have dark green over here, maybe that'll do. Ah, what happened with that line? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's better. Right, back to the center area. There's some kind of just lighter browny yellowy bits in there that I want to make sure to put in. I'm ending up with so many layers. I'm starting to get confused. This bit here is actually more of the teal stuff. It's not quite right. Hmm. I was trying to get this part in. This is kind of one of the darker parts of this side. So I want to make sure that that kind of comes through those like tree roots. Maybe I can use this. That's too bright. So like this part needs to be dark against this part. So I think this actually ended up a little bit too light, maybe. I'm going to go in and try to lighten that up. I guess like that. That's pretty good. You know what? I will go ahead and put in some of these smaller mushrooms here, just as quick as I can. I feel like it's kind of missing something without them. Oops. Put this on a layer above all this. Just gonna put in a bunch of little mushrooms. Maybe so this kind of tree stumpy bit among the mushrooms. That's not really gonna be visible. That's fine. Okay, let's see what's left. A lot to do and only 10 minutes left. I would like to kind of fill in this a little bit more, give it a little more texture, make it a little bit darker. There's a lot going on here, especially these dark sides here. Actually, what is even going on in this corner? I haven't touched this corner at all. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Let me see if I can fill in this side real fast. Let's make a new layer for that. Or, actually, no, I don't like how that looks. What is up here? Ah, whatever, here. Whatever, there's stuff here. And then here it's more dark greens. Although these dark greens are actually, they're a little more browny. Something more like that. Like that. And now that I have these mushrooms here, I can kind of do the light on them a little bit more. So first of all, this here. And mushroom light. Let's go. Back here is kind of lit up. And then here. Actually not there. So I think there's kind of a cutoff at the top of this mushroom where it doesn't have light. Do something kind of spirally texture on this bit here. And now I do want to get some of these back bits here. Good color for that. Yeah, that looks like the right color. Just kind of outcropping here with more mushrooms on it. All right, now I think the main thing we're still missing is more mushrooms. I do want to put in these because I like their kind of soft glow in their in the background there. I'm absolutely lost on which layer is what. Let's put these just on top of that. That's not too bad. I do kind of want to give them a little bit more of the darker bits as well to make them pop a little bit. Just take like a bright yellow and just put a little bit of oomph. Oops. Just a little bit. Something like that. And then finally, in our last few minutes, I think I'll attempt to put in some of these mushrooms on the side here. Okay, whatever, they go on this layer. All right. What else is there to do? Oh, I do want to actually put in some of that yellow glow at the top of the stump as well. Something like that. Oh, and there's actually some more green in here that I would like to put in. Just a little bit lightly. I don't like that. Maybe like that. Sorta. Not perfect, but hey, I think I'm right on time. I'd say that about does it. All right. 1 hour for a bunch of rocks and trees and mushrooms and stuff. Yeah, I think it doesn't look too bad. It's definitely, kind of rough and sketchy, but I'm overall really happy with how this turned out. I think it definitely came out better than my previous attempt. And, hopefully as I continue doing these, they'll get better and better. I do hope to make this a long running series just so that, I can kind of, have something of a like schedule and actually get some more practice in. Um, yeah, but I'd say this was a good start. So yeah, thanks for coming by, guys. Um, I hope you enjoyed me doing that. I know I don't like. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the big mushroom too. Um, I feel like it's hard to kind of talk while I'm drawing because I tend to just get really focused. Uh, but hopefully, I was kind of trying to talk over some of my decisions and thoughts while I was doing this. So hopefully that was entertaining to watch. And hopefully my avatar was not going too crazy because I know the tracking gets kind of weird when I keep moving around and keep shoving my face right into my computer screen. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day for now. Thank you so much for coming. And hopefully you guys can check out future streams as well. All right. Bye, guys.